Since its release back in 2016, Van Helsing has grown more and more popular. The action-packed fantasy drama has captured audiences, which wouldn't be possible without its amazing cast. Speaking of, along with the show itself, many fans have become intrigued with the talented cast of Van Helsing. In today's video, we will be discussing secrets nobody knew about the cast of Van Helsing. But before we get into the video, don't forget to leave a like and subscribe to the channel with notifications turned on so you don't miss any of the new videos we post. First off, we have Kelly Overton, who plays the tough, brave, and fearless Vanessa Helsing in Van Helsing. Aside from her action-filled role, here's some things you may not know about Overton. She grew up in a town called Wilbraham, which can be found in the state of Massachusetts. For those who are curious about how the town received such a curious name, it should be noted that there are a couple of villages called Great Wilbraham and Little Wilbraham that can be found close to Cambridge in England. The name can trace its roots to Wilbraham, meaning Wilburga's homestead, which refers to a daughter of King Penda of the Mercians. Second, when Overton was still in high school, she was a very athletic person. For proof, look no further than the fact that she played both soccer and basketball, which were on top of her participation in high hurdles. In fact, Overton was undefeated at high hurdles throughout western Massachusetts in this period. Presumably, this athleticism has helped her out when it comes to her more physically demanding roles. Upon graduating from high school, Overton went to New York City, where she studied at the American Academy of Dramatic Arts, which she claims to be the first and finest acting school that can be found in all of the United States. Besides her training, Overton managed to pick up some experience in New York City as well, which came from her involvement in both theater productions and TV shows. Next, we have Jonathan Scarfe, whose face is one that you've probably seen on your screen dozens of times throughout the years. Since making his on-screen debut in 1993, Jonathan has gone on to earn a wide variety of acting credits in all sorts of movies and TV shows. No matter what you've seen Jonathan in, you'll probably agree that he has put on an unforgettable show. However, most recently, he has gotten attention for his role as Axel Miller in Van Helsing. In fact, American viewers have seen Jonathan so much throughout the years that most people think he's probably from the United States. Interesting enough, though, Jonathan was actually born and raised in Canada. He dropped out of high school when he was 15 and began to develop an interest in acting the following year. Speaking of acting, another fact many people may not know about Scarfe is that he isn't the only actor in the family. Most would agree Jonathan's decision to become an actor was somewhat inevitable since a love for performing runs in his family. Both of his parents, Alan Scarfe and Sanfra Botsford, are professional actors. His stepmother, Barbara March, is also an actress. However, Jonathan's profession isn't the only thing he's devoted a lot of time and energy to. He is also a devoted family man who enjoys spending as much time with his loved ones as he can. Jonathan has been happily married to actress Suki Kaiser since 1998, and the couple has 2 children together. Aside from acting, Jonathan is a very adventurous person, and he also likes to stay active. In fact, skiing has become the perfect way for him to tap into both parts of those things. He loves to go skiing as often as he can, and he has even traveled to other parts of the world to enjoy some of the best slopes. Another unknown fact about Scarfe is that skiing isn't the only way Jonathan likes to express his adventurous side. He also likes to travel, but he doesn't just do any kind of traveling. Several years ago, Jonathan took a break from acting and spent 2 years sailing around the world with his wife and children. The next cast member we have is Canadian actor Christopher Heyerdahl. Currently, many might recognize him because of his role as Sam on Van Helsing. However, this is far from Heyerdahl's first time in speculative fiction. Here are a few things that you may or may not have known about the actor. Heyerdahl was born in British Columbia, which is the westernmost Canadian province that can be found on the Pacific coast. Generally speaking, British Columbia is known for its beautiful landscapes. However, it is interesting to note that it is a popular place for people to film both movies and TV shows, thanks to Vancouver. It's also interesting to note that Heyerdahl's father came to Canada from Norway in the 1950s. In fact, Heyerdahl's father was a cousin of Thor Heyerdahl, who was a figure of some note, meaning Christopher Heyerdahl and Thor Heyerdahl are in fact related. On the topic of Heyerdahl's acting career, the 57-year-old has stated that he is a fan of the vampire genre, which makes a fair amount of sense considering the number of vampires that he has played on the screen. In fact, aside from his role as vampire elder Sam in Van Helsing, some may recognize him from his role in The Twilight as Marcus Volturi. In addition to his vampire roles, Heyerdahl can be seen in other films and shows such as The Librarians, Hells on Wheels, Supernatural, Smallville, and Stargate Atlantis. Aside from acting on screen, Heyerdahl has also voice acted for video games as well. To be exact, he played a role in 2017 and another role in 2018. The first role was in Wolfenstein 2, The New Colossus, and the second was in Far Cry 5. Next is Alex Paunovic, whose journey to becoming a professional actor was a lot different from many of his peers. He didn't grow up loving acting or thinking of it as a possibility for his career, but the universe clearly had other plans for him. Since beginning his career in the early 1990s, Alex has grown tremendously and he's become widely known and respected all over the world. He has worked with some of the biggest names in the industry and has taken part in some very successful projects, including Van Helsing, where he plays Julius. An interesting fact some may not know is that before Alex got into acting, he was doing something completely different. He comes from a family of boxers, and he decided to follow the same path. He was a competitive boxer until injuring himself in the 1990 Pan Am American Games. Although the injury ended his career, Alex still enjoys boxing for fun, and it's helped him stay in great shape over the years. However, Alex isn't just a great boxer and a talented actor. He's also a skilled musician. He used to play the bass guitar in a rock band called Specula Black. Although the band hasn't released any music in over 20 years, some of their early recordings are now available on Spotify. If you take a look at Alex, you'll probably agree that he doesn't seem like someone you'd want to mess with. However, interestingly enough, when he was younger, his reality was much different, as he was bullied a lot during his childhood years, and he has since become very vocal about anti-bullying. Following Alex, we have Tricia Helfer, who not only plays Dracula in Van Helsing, but was also once a model. However, she has long since made the transition to being both an actress and a voice actress, as many know her as. A fact some may not know about Helfer is that she was born in a village called Dolnada that can be found in the Canadian province of Alberta. Once upon a time, the place was called Eidsvold because of the Norwegian settlers who founded it. It's also interesting to note that Helfer and her sisters were raised on a grain farm where they would pitch in when they had the time. Dolnada's population is measured in the low hundreds. As a result, it is perhaps unsurprising to learn that Helfer went to school in a town called Stettler that can be found in the same municipal district. With that said, Stettler isn't very prominent, as shown by the fact that one of its most notable characteristics is that it is home to one of the last grain elevators that can be found in the province of Alberta. Another interesting fact about Helfer is that when she was 17, she was discovered by a scout for a modeling agency while she was waiting in line for a movie. Due to this, Helfer embarked on a very successful modeling career. For example, she walked some of the most famous fashion shows in the entire world. Likewise, she has been featured on the covers of publications that range from Elle and Cosmopolitan to Vogue and Marie Claire. Eventually, Helfer made the choice to retire from fashion modeling in 2002, though that hasn't stopped her from showing up in relation to either her projects or her product endorsements since that time. Helfer has also hosted Canada's Next Top Model. Lastly, Helfer is said to have 6 artificial discs in her spine because of a couple unfortunate accidents. One involved a piece of luggage falling on her head while she was seated on a plane, while the other involved her getting injured when she was doing her own stunts for her projects. With that said, that's going to wrap up this video. How many of these facts did you know about? Thanks for watching.